solidarity with the Palestinian people. Can I ask what has compelled you perhaps to come out today for this very purpose? Yeah, can I ask you what has imploded you to come out today?
Just, well, people are dying, children are dying, war crimes are being committed, and it's just, this is the time for peace and for talking, not for war and bombs. And, they're starving, they've got no medical supplies, 20 tons of aid came through this morning, and they need hundreds a day. So yeah, it needs, they need to stop, there needs to be ceasefire, and then there needs to be peace.
And what do you think, are our governments doing enough to unilaterally bring forward this peace?
No, I'd say they are supporting what could be war crimes. They're currently not doing anything to advance peace. They are following their own political interests, and they're not listening to people. They're not listening to any kind of decent 21st century moral compass.
Fantastic. And what would you say to those who say that protests are futile?
What else can we do but get out in the street and raise our voice?
Absolutely.
We can't stay silent.
We can't stay silent, absolutely. Do you believe that our government, the leaders of our government, are not just motivated by self-interest, but maybe they've got other alternative motives to mislead mankind, to bring mankind into acceptance of their hegemony?
I mean, yeah, to a certain extent, we don't know about any specifics, but yes, I think they are, certainly Western governments, most governments are not in support of the people. They are in support of big business interests, their own interests.
Absolutely, fantastic. May I ask you a couple of questions? So just like I asked this good gentleman over here, what has made you come out today to express solidarity with the Palestinian people, and what has really affected you that you felt that you need to come out to express your voice?
Well, it's been an occupation of obviously decades, and just whatever, like Chris said, whatever we can do to stop this, raise our voices, and I felt like it was the least I could do with the situation.
That's fantastic. You would assume raising one's voice and appealing to those who represent you would be a way of them having or listening on. So what would you say to those who say that, they will do as they want anyway? What would be your response to those who say, as I've asked this gentleman, protests are futile? All we could do is raise our voices, but what would you like to tell our governments to do immediately?
Yeah, to like everyone's saying with their signs, to put sanctions on the state of Israel. I think to raise the voice as well, to say how things are wrong the way they are happening at the moment. And yeah, if someone says that marches are futile, I think it's been like the most peaceful way we can do, to put pressure on the government, different governments around the world, and it's necessary. And if we just stay home and don't do anything, nothing's gonna ever happen. Yeah.
So I mean, are we to say that our governments are motivated solely by greed and by certain influences amongst each other, where they like to keep the power amongst themselves and to suppress the majority?
Yeah, I think it's really sad. I think definitely most governments are just driven by their own interests and money, and not really by the people, by what the people really need.
I mean, there are many decent politicians out there who are speaking up against what is happening. Do you think their voice will be heard? Do you think this bombing will stop? Do you think sometime going forward that there will be a Palestinian solution to this 75 years of trauma that they've gone through?
Yeah, I mean, it's at the moment it's really hard to have hope, but I still have it because it's happened before with other countries, and that's why we need to keep pressuring. So,
absolutely, fantastic. Now, with that positive comment, we thank you very much for your time. So the nice lady over here has given her opinion, just as our pleasant gentleman did, in the fact that people are unhappy with their governments and what they're doing, and they're not listening. When there was a protest last week, what happens? Rishi Sunak runs off to Israel to meet the leaders of the suppressive state. And can you believe the accusation made that it wasn't the Israeli missiles which blew up that hospital, it was a truant missile from another organization? I mean, the outright rejection of it. Are these people Satanists? Are they evil beyond belief? that they don't feel apathy and sympathy to those who are suffering. On the surface, all they're saying is that, oh, we just want to give rights to the Palestinians, we'll give them $100 million. Well, what are you going to do with $100 million when you've got 1.1 million people who have been displaced? We need to really eventuate these circumstances and to get the occupying state of Israel out of the occupied territories, according to international law, in which our governments are so inclined towards. The hypocrisy stinks to high heaven. Let's hope things improve for the Palestinians. Salam alaikum.